So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. Miseducation and politicians. No one's willing to step up and speak.
There it is. Okay, now that's my cue to go live. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the P.A.C.E radio show. We are live on Lifestyle Radio, the 420 Radio Network. Normally, we have our host, Al Graham, doing the speaking part that I'm doing right now. Sadly, he is away from us tonight, and he is having some issues with his health. Well, we wish you well, and I hope I don't blow this too badly in your absence. My first solo show without you, so I'm quite nervous. But at the same time, I'm very excited and happy that we have a wonderful guest that is going to join me tonight and pull me out of the fire and get me through this night. The wonderful, the awesome Tracy Curley joins us this evening. How are you, Tracy?
I'm doing pretty good. Sorry to hear that Al is under the weather. It seems to be going around.
Yeah.
Community right now.
Yeah, it's his turn right now. At Lifestyle Radio's we've had our issues with our announcers and health issues. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Al Graham and as well to Al Rapp and to my listeners. I was off on my last show 2 weeks ago. I was having some issues with my bowels. I suffered from a twisted bowel and I had to have some emergency surgery. So life has not been friendly for me, and I've been off the air for about 3 weeks and off my feet for about 3 weeks now and just getting back into the swing of things. Lo and behold, my first night back and my partner in crime on the air, Al Graham, is off and having issues with his bowels.
Well, and I mean, in keeping with the theme, I'm hoping your listeners sound like they're very, very patient. So should we get interrupted at any point during the show tonight, please be advised you may be listening to me get some IV antibiotics and some wound changes done myself.
You join us in this mess that we are in, Tracy. You're going through some issues. You have diabetes. Tell us what's going on with you and your health right now.
So I'm a type 1 diabetic, as many of the people in the community know. I've been a type 1 diabetic for 37 years now, and I'm usually pretty lucky. But as I'm getting older, there are complications that are happening, and I have acquired an infection in my left foot, which is very dangerous for diabetics. We don't heal very well.
Yeah.
And I did have a similar issue in 2014, which resulted in the amputation of my baby toe. So we're kind of going through it again. The prognosis is much better, but I've been on IV antibiotics with home care for about the last 16 days or so. 12 days now. 12 days. By the time I'm done, it will be 18. So I've been doing IV antibiotics, and the air cast arrived from Amazon today, so that I'm no longer putting any weight on my foot as well. So I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm back now. There's been a lot of Ubering and Uber Eats in my neighborhood. It's a good time to be alive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all seem to be, I guess, reaching that point in our lives where things are starting to happen to us. You know, we're not as young as we used to be.
and I'm very fortunate. Like I said, I've been a diabetic for quite a few years, and now this is my second complication. And we're on it this time. So I've got a great home care team. And we're not looking at any amputations this time, as long as I take it easy. So I'm just going to take it easy.
Good. Well, yeah, absolutely. Doctor's orders, right? Take it easy, do what you're supposed to do, and, take care of everything that you need to take care of. I'm glad you've got a fantastic team. It's fantastic news that it isn't quite as drastic as the last time, but, still, our thoughts and our prayers are with you, Tracy.
Thank you so much. So, like I said, hopefully you guys will be understanding. You may end up getting an extra guest in the way of a home care nurse this evening, depending on what time they actually show up.
Yeah, well, we can have that live happen on the air. Tracy's having her treatment right on the air.
And I mean, I may be homebound, but that doesn't stop us here. So tickets and Karma Cup handbills and flyers went out into the mail this week.
Yes, I got mine.
So ticket vendors will now be able to, you'll still be able to buy your weekend passes for the Karma Cup at vendors within the next week.
Awesome. Yeah, we're having a bit of trouble. We're having a bit of trouble with you cutting out a little bit, Tracy. I don't know if it's your mic or what, but you're all
right, let me see if I can get a little closer. Is that any better?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Perfect.
I got my little package in the mail. I got some posters, and I've already got them out at our 2 local head shops, and I got my little cards to give away and been dropping them off at the corner stores as I travel throughout the north to help promote the Karma Cup. We're going to get into all of that and so much more, but first I want to touch on, usually we go through a news item, so I want to touch on a news item with you, get your input on some stuff that's been going on in the news lately. CBC article that I'm looking at right now, actually, the premier, the potential showdown is looming with the federal target to legalize. Premier has announced that they will ask the government to postpone its plan if marijuana issues, related issues to road safety, taxation, training for distribution, and public education aren't addressed. What do you think of the premier's announcement?
Truthfully, it's not shocking. When they released the Cannabis Act, the first thing the provinces did, I mean, they put a lot of pressure on the provinces to comply within the next year without giving them what seems like a lot of information. So I'm not actually surprised by the Premier's reaction to this. I'm also, when I look at things as far as the Liberal government and what they've been doing so far, I'm not surprised if they're going to pull this into being a 2019 election issue.
Yeah.
So I still am hesitant to believe that we're going to have legalization next year. I think this is just the government's way of dragging it out.
I couldn't agree more, Tracy. I've been kind of saying that from the beginning. I couldn't wrap my head around the way they came across with this. I never really believed it myself. I think the same thing. I think they're going to miss the deadline, say, well, we tried, it didn't work, but now we have a plan. So if you vote for me again, it's going to happen.
Yes, and I mean, a lot of Canadians have now invested their savings in the idea that legalization is coming.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of businesses now. So, I think the Liberals are just kind of hedging their bets and hoping that it's going to get them another 4 years.
Yeah, I agree. And I think part of that ploy was passing on a lot of the responsibility to the individual provinces, knowing that there's no way that the provinces can come up with a plan in under a year's time. Then there's also another issue with regards to the United Nations and the UN and stuff, and breaking the treaty. If Canada does a full-blown legalization next year without giving notice that they intend to break the treaty, then that puts us in a bad situation.
Well, in my own, in kind of that whole thing too, is, I mean, if the UN pretends that they didn't know we were planning on breaking it, that would be kind of silly, because, I mean, the UN is obviously very aware that Canada's planning on legalizing. I'm sure there have been many, many discussions that as citizens we're just not privy to. And especially when you're looking at legalization in certain states and everything else, there's very few countries at this point that will be able to point a finger at us and go, you're breaking a treaty. And it's like, well, yeah, looks like we all are. There's medical marijuana showing up in a lot of UN countries now. So I think that's just the tide of change. I think the treaties are going to be a moot point.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So Uruguay, they started their sales.
Yep.
$1.25 a gram. You can get 5 grams for $6.
Yep. And what I find interesting about that is who's growing a lot of their marijuana. Kim, do you know?
It's coming from Canada, isn't it?
Tilray. So I guess my question is how come they can grow it for $1.25 a gram in Uruguay and $14 a gram for patients in Canada?
Yeah, exactly. Because Uruguay has a prime minister and a system that is looking at them and saying, what, are you kidding? No way. This is how it's going to be. And if you want in, that's how it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would like to see, I would definitely like to see Canada. And I always find it interesting whenever I'm talking to politicians or government officials or anything else, and we talk about legalization and or I'm on a panel and we discuss, the criminal element of getting the black market out, and I say, then make it $1 a gram. Make sure there's no money in it.
Yeah.
And they all look at me like I've got 3 heads, like I just, like these people that claim that they're against marijuana legalization. No, they're against citizens making money off of legalization.
Exactly.
The idea of, all of these people that are saying it's the criminal element and keeping it out of the hands of the children and all of these things. No, there's a lot of financial interests here, and I think it would be silly of us to even pretend that there aren't.
Yeah, that's for sure. Without deep pockets, you're not getting into this business. Not in a long shot. Not in a federal level. Not on a provincial level. You can stay small, mom and pop, and stay under the radar and pray not to get popped. But other than that, you're not getting in.
Or you need to find a lot of investment money.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much been it. There's a lot of investment money into the marijuana space now.
Yeah.
So, I encourage anybody that's in it, hey, look for partnerships, keep going. Don't give up.
Yeah, for sure. There was some talk about bringing on mom and pop growers to supply LPs for the upcoming legalization regime to fill the gaps. That kind of news kind of dwindled away. We never really heard much more about it after the start of the year.
Well, I mean, and what you will see is that there are smaller LPs now coming out onto the market that I think will fill that, the craft cannabis space. They're smaller growers. Some of them are MMAR growers. They're coming in with smaller facilities and looking to grow not on a larger scale, but on a smaller scale. So I think we're going to see more of those licenses being awarded as well.
Yeah, I agree. I just hope Health Canada is up to the task. I mean, they need improved systems for sure, more streamlined, more people, and less wait times.
Oh, of course. I mean, on both sides of it, from a patient perspective, and for the people that are going through the LP process. I mean, a lot of these companies and a lot of these mom and pops who tried in the beginning just simply ran out of money because of the wait.
Yeah, and that's what's happened to a lot of them. And again, we come back to the deep pockets, lots of investment. Yeah. Some of these companies are into the millions upon millions before they even go into production.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we can talk about that on another day.
yeah, that's for sure. So for all my listeners out there who maybe aren't aware, we do have Tracy Curley. Now, a little bit about Tracy. Tracy, you're originally from P.A.C.E. You currently live in Toronto and have for quite some time. Avid cannabis baker, avid cannabis activist. You're a patient. You are part of way too many organizations to even start mentioning all of them. But today you are here on behalf and as part of the awesome and wonderful Karma Cup. Takes place in Toronto every year. This year, September 9th and 10th. Sarah Sunday is at the helm. Your right hand. Tell me about all of the goings on at this year's wonderful Karma Cup. Who's on the team that's getting this together?
Oh, well, okay. So there's some great people. I'm not even sure who's on the team this year. We've got a lot of people helping out. Not sure. For people that don't know the Karma Cup, this will actually be the fourth year that the Karma Cup has happened in Toronto. And it is a growers, edibles, topical, basically a cannabis products competition, where we have, this year will be 15 categories. So they give out 45 trophies in various categories and bud. So you've got your hybrid, your sativa, your indica. They've also got concentrate categories, edible categories, or vape pen categories. And one of the ways it's kind of interesting this year is she's actually split up the edibles category to make it a concentrates and a canna butter.
Oh, cool. Because that was big last year, right?
Exactly. So now we've actually I think there were 23 entries in that category last year. So now she's split them up so that you can actually choose between whether or not was it made with a concentrate or was it made with canna butter, was it made with flour?
Right. Cool.
Yeah. So again, lots of trophies being made out this year, and we've traditionally had the trophies made by Redbeard from Redbeard Glass. But this year, because a couple people have now gotten a couple of trophies, and you want to mix things up a bit, there will be new trophies for the Karma Cup this year, and even apparently even more badass and even more functional than our previous trophies.
Oh, I can't wait. The previous trophies have been fantastic, but great to shake it up because, sometimes we have, say, the same winners over and over and over again in a category because their products are just that good. It's nice to be able to give them a new piece of hardware. Yeah,
exactly. So there's some changes coming up this year that are pretty awesome.
Excellent. I took part of in the Karma Cup last year. As you know, Al and I were down there. The two Bals and I were down there.
Yes.
We did our live broadcast from the show, from the event. We visited the Vapor Lounge as well for part of the normal conference that was taking place at the same time during the Cup last year. But I was not part of the official testers, I guess, judge. I did not get a judge's kit last year, but I was able to take part in some judging through other friends that were judges. And oh my God, fantastic off the hook package. And the samples are just wow.
So for those people that don't know, you can actually purchase a judge's kit to actually pick a winner of a cup. So what we do is, so you can actually purchase the judge's kit. Last year, there were 109 various cannabis-based products to be judged, along with a ton of swag and free stuff for all of our judges. The bags are basically the size of a large duffel bag.
Nice.
And judges are given 3 weeks to judge all the products that they've been given in the bag. And at the end of the 3 weeks, we award our winners.
The award it happens at a big event that takes place at an undisclosed location.
This year the awards will actually take place on site at the Cup. So during the festival on the Sunday afternoon, we will actually give out the cups that day.
Oh, excellent! Oh, that's a nice.
Yes, we gave. Yeah, well, we gave them away. In the same space that we did the normal conference last year.
Yeah.
That's where we actually did the award ceremony. But a lot of people that were there for the festival and people that were there with their booths couldn't go to both. So now Sarah's arranged it that the award ceremony will actually happen on site this year.
Oh, well, that's a good change. That's an excellent change. Now, last year, I think it was supposed to be all in one space, but it wound up being problematic thanks to the city of Toronto.
Yeah, there were a lot of challenges last year. And what I will say to people is Sarah Sunday is incredible and a trooper and unstoppable. I don't know what I would have done I was part of the team, but there was a lot of things that happened that I don't know if it were me, if I would have been able to stand through it on my own. So basically what happened is the event was supposed to start on the Saturday. The Monday before the event took place, we found out from our production company that the permits to build the tents that we were planning on building had been denied by the city. And that is the first time that had ever happened to this production company after being in business for years.
Yeah.
So we knew we had some challenges at that point, and we thought, okay, well, we'll just roll with it, and we'll move we'll move the normal conference, we'll move the judges' dinner. And then 2 days later, we were informed that the landlord in which we were renting the property from had been approached by the city and had been told that he would be fined or he would lose his property if he allowed the Karma Cup to take place.
Yeah.
So we actually lost our event space 3 days before the event last year.
Yeah, and I remember, and it was a scramble to find space. That space finally became available. Sarah persevered. She came through in the end. She pulled it off, man. And, with all the problems that the city threw at her, she pulled off one hell of an event.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, what people don't understand is that, the city, we lost the landlord. Eventually, we lost the production company, too, because they were worried that they weren't going to be able to continue to do business with the city if they were still working with us.
Yeah.
So what began as a very, very large team of professionals that, we're going to do this, ended up down to about a team of 4 people.
Yep. Scrambling for space and putting up tents and getting it done, and you got it done. It was astonishing.
And what I'll say, we had over 6,000 people through our gates last year.
Yeah.
Even regardless of the challenges, our sponsors and vendors were ecstatic. Many of them sold out before we even halfway through the second day.
Yep.
So, at the end, and the community support was fantastic. There's always some naysayers and the negative Nancy's, but the amount of support that we got from the community to make it happen was overwhelming and amazing. There were a lot of people that jumped in and said, okay, what do you need? Where are we supposed to be? Yep. So, we had to keep our location secret. And so we didn't even really tell people where they were going right away. And, Saturday morning at 6:00 in the morning, I showed up to the site location, figuring there might be 3 or 4 of us there to set up tents, that we were on our own. And there was about 30 people there to help us at 6:00 in the morning. It was amazing.
Oh, fantastic. What a community. When we pull together, the things that can be accomplished, in the spirit of unity, because we're all after the same goal. Put everything aside. Let's concentrate on this one issue. If we could only do that on a daily basis.
Exactly. Exactly. So, the normal conference was fantastic. And things were a little cold last year. So one of the things we did learn was, those heated tents would have come in really, really handy, as the event was in October.
Yeah.
So to fix that issue, we've now moved. Sarah's now moved the event to September.
Perfect. We still got great weather in September. Toronto is gorgeous in September. It should make for a much nicer event outside, I think.
Agreed. And so some new things coming along. There'll be some changes, but one of the reasons I've always helped out at this event is because I love my Toronto community. I always have. But what I really liked about this event is the way that things are judged. And oh, look, guys, Hold on 1 second, Kim.
Oh,
I believe
okay,
my nurse is calling.
Well, you take care of that. We'll go to commercial, Tracy, and we're going to excuse ourselves from Tracy. Her nurse has arrived, as we mentioned at the very start of the show. She may be called away to get some medical attention that she's having taken care of right now. So we're going to go to commercial break right now and give Tracy a few minutes to get set up with our nurse and stuff.
She's on her way. So she's on her way. She just called to let me know she's on her way. So you guys go to commercial break. I'm going to get some stuff set up, and I'll talk to you again soon.
All right, then. We'll be back with Tracy Curley in a few minutes. You're listening to the P.A.C.E Radio Network, or P.A.C.E Radio Show on the Lifestyle Network. Of course, I'm going to get tongue-tied now. And I neglected to do this at the very start of the show, so let me do it now. I'd like to also say thank you to our sponsors from BMA Hydroponics of Belleville, Ontario, and C.C. Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler, and also to Canadays and Camelford, where Al is normally broadcasting live in the front window there. But I'm sorry, but you just get me over the airwaves tonight, guys. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. We'll be back in a few minutes with more with our guest, Tracy Curley. We'll be back in a few minutes with more with our guest.
Please hang up and try again.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Hey, Marty, bring me a bag of that stuff over here, would ya? Now, Justin Trudeau had a puff of weed. Said he took a puff when he was an MP. The Tories took the story to the CBC, and now it's all over.
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. CC Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Canuck seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Canuck seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today, 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
The following is a public service announcement from the Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society. The Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society is a non-profit organization dedicated to ensuring improved access to therapeutic cannabis and cannabis byproducts in Canada. With a federal government that has committed to legalizing cannabis, we feel it is our duty to ensure that the medicinal use of cannabis doesn't get lost in the process and that there are clear distinctions made between the medicinal and recreational use of cannabis. It is our mission to ensure that government regulation doesn't get in the way of a sick, disabled, or terminally ill person's right to use or produce this amazing natural health product. If you would like to get involved, you can contact us on the internet. www.canadiantherapeuticCannabisPartners.com, on Facebook, CTCP Society, or search Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners.
CTCP now operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CTCP.
Man, have you been to Canadays yet? Canadays, Campbellford's premier cannabis culture shop at 19 Bridge Street West. They've got bongs, oil rigs, grinders, and papers. Everything you need for consumption. They've got seeds, soil, nutrients, and dome trays too. Everything you need for cultivation. Get top quality seeds from top suppliers like Canuck, Crop King, and wholesaler Nexus. Canadays. They've got all kinds of awesome cannabis novelties, clothing, and apparel. I know, right? It's a lot more than just a bong shop. Interested in gaining legal access? Canadays can help. They're a P.A.C.E information center. You know, people advocating cannabis education. Come by the shop and check it out. 19 Bridge Street West, Campbellford. Canadays. Have your say without saying a word. Canadays.ca.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
BMA offers cannabinoid testing, so if you want to prove you've got good medicine, head to BMA Hydroponics and prove it.
All the politicians started jumping on board. Kathleen Wynne and their Rob Ford. Harper got ass, but don't touch the stuff. He puffed a lot of puffers, but I never puffed the good stuff. True to 108, it's a brand new strain. All you'll ever need, it's a trademark name. Kinda like marijuana, not to tip the charge tax to get it.
And are we back? I'm not sure.
I'm still here.
Oh, that's good. I'm not even sure if we're live right now. I don't see any background music, but I think we might be back. And if we are, hello, and welcome back to the P.A.C.E Radio Show. I'm Kim Cooper, your joint host tonight, with the awesome Tracy. Curley is joining me tonight, who is currently waiting for her nurse to arrive and give her some treatment with some IV medication. She's having some issues with her foot, as we talked about in the beginning of the show. Before we went away, and while we're waiting for your nurse to come back, to come up, talking a little bit more about the Karma Cup. Now, this event, just so people can have a scope of how big it is, it's quite large. Like there were how many vendors last year? I can't even. There had to be over 100.
Last year we had 30 vendors.
Oh, is that all? Okay.
Actually, it might have. Actually, I think. Let me think. Actually, it might have been 40.
Yeah.
Originally, it's a little hard for me to keep track of that number because originally we did have 65.
Right. Yeah, and then there was all kinds of other stuff going on too,
including food trucks and artists and vendors and everything else. So we did have to shrink things down a little. By the time we ended up, we were somewhere between 30 and 40 vendors.
Right on. I mean, that's a lot of people to talk. I mean, going from booth to booth, when you stop and talk, it took me 2 days to go through them all.
Oh yeah, well that was just it. I mean, there was lots of sampling to do. Some of the artists that we had there were just incredible, and they weren't necessarily part of the vending packages either. So, there's a large amount of people. We've got DJs, we've got musicians, and working in conjunction with the National Organization for Laws, also hosting the normal conference as well.
Is that happening this year again?
Of what we do.
Is that happening this year again, Tracy?
Of course it is. It is, yes.
Very cool.
We are just confirming location and the speakers with the normal team now.
Excellent. Normal Canada has been around for a long time. I campaigned for Normal Toronto and to get Normal Canada here back in 1978. Normal's been around for quite a while, but they're a fairly quiet organization in the grand scheme of things these days in Canada, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some challenges in Canada just because I know lot of their board is also, also works in the legal fight for their form of marijuana laws too. So lawyers often don't have a lot of spare time.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's part of the challenge with the normal board as well, is that, we've got a lot of work to do in the reforming of those laws. And so the lobbying on the behalf of Normal we could probably use a little bit more, but they also could use the donations as well. It costs a lot to keep that organization running, and a lot of volunteer hours.
Absolutely, that's for sure. And with so many other organizations out there, I guess dollars are getting stretched thin. We really need one major organization to take the focus and take the lead on this. I'd like it to see it be Normal Canada, because they've been around since the start of this movement. Emerging up here from the U.S. and starting Normal Canada back in 1979 or 1980 when it finally arrived. They've been around for a long time.
Conroy and Alan Young.
Yeah,
we owe them for bringing it here.
Yeah.
But yeah, the issue, I encourage anyone who's listening who's not a member of Normal Canada to definitely do that. The membership, I think membership is like $20. It's really not that expensive, but the money goes to a really, really good cause, and that is the lobbying of lobbying for the rights of marijuana legalization and changing those laws.
And we need people like Normal, because like you say, they have the lawyers are on their board and that, so they are fighting the fights on the ground level and at the federal and provincial level across the board. They've got their foot in all of it, so they are most connected to do the most good.
So I'm working with one of the people that's a member of Normal. Her name is Abigail Sampson. Abby is fantastic, and so she's been spearheading getting all of the lawyers organized and making sure that we've got a wonderful speakers panel. I know that Dana Larson is already on the speakers panel, as well as Bubble Man Mark Richardson. So
excellent.
If you've got interest in cannabis history or the history of hash in Canada, those are two guys you definitely want to hear speak.
Absolutely. Oh, and Dana is such a great speaker too. I mean, he can just go on for hours. The man is so knowledgeable.
Well, one of my favorite things that happened at the event that you were at with me, Kim, because I instigated it, was watching Dana was watching Dana actually read from one of his books.
Yes, that was great. I got that on video.
and so I actually am going to be able to convince Dana to do a reading of maybe the Pie-Eyed Piper, which is his newest publication, and maybe do a reading for that Karma Cup this year as well.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I'm hoping. I think I might be able to convince him with cookies.
yeah. He's easily bribed. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yes, he really, really is. So for some reason, I think. The conference, the award ceremony. I mean, we encourage, and we're still taking. You've got another 10 days entries in if you want to enter, and I encourage new cannabis to get social media that happens around the Karma Cup. There's a lot of promotion that happens, and it's one of those things that if you've won, that's now a new marketing tool for you.
Oh, absolutely. I know the winners of last year's, and anybody that came in first, second, or third in last year's cup, I know their businesses increased.
Took off last year.
Yeah.
So I heard makers and stuff like that. For that, a lot of people, it does seem like an investment, and it is. But what it can do for your business is pretty fantastic as well.
Yeah, and I mean, if you've got the product and you're proud of it, and everybody is talking about your product, you want to put it in this cup and get the.
And some of the innovative things we've seen has just been amazing, because people get competitive. So not only from the extracts and some of the beautiful extracts and terpenes and things that we've seen over the last couple of years, but even some of the edible products that we've seen. We've seen everything from bits and bytes to hot sauce to Reese's Squares one last year. Like, we've seen all kinds of things, and I can't wait to see what the edibles category holds this year.
Oh, the innovations are amazing. I mean, the stuff people are doing is just off the hook.
Oh yeah, and so I'm, even just seeing like the amount of product people. So people that don't know, the judges' kits can be quite expensive. I believe with tax they come to about $750 to $800.
Yeah, $802 with tax.
Yeah, I think that's what they come to. So they're quite expensive. However, what I encourage people to do is go in with a couple of buddies.
Yep.
And judge and divide the categories and judge it that way, because while you don't have to consume the whole entire sample to test it, so you will have leftovers over, but judging in a team is actually really quite awesome.
Yeah, it's way more fun.
Seen people start to do that over the last couple of years, and it's awesome. There'll be judging parties held all over the city of Toronto. In the weeks leading up to the Cup. So if you're listed as a judge and you have a judge's kit, there'll be various vapor lounges in the city that will be hosting you.
I'm looking forward to that this year.
Events too.
Yeah, looking forward to that this year. We're actually coming down, and I'm spending 10 days in Toronto prior to the Cup.
Oh my God, you're going to have a blast.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm actually hoping to enjoy a little bit more of that this year. Like I said, because of the problems last year, we were under rocks just trying to make things happen. So we didn't actually get to socialize with anybody.
Yeah.
Because we were too busy fixing things.
Yeah.
So this year we're hoping that we're going to get to take part a lot more of those events, increase of our labor a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. You're breaking up just a bit again there, Tracy. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys deserve it after the debacle of it all last year. I mean, this year, I pray it goes off without a hitch and you guys actually get to enjoy it, because it was such an amazing event to enjoy.
Well, I mean, we thought that last year was going to be the year that we actually got to hang out and enjoy it. But I think now, I mean, I've been doing various events over the last 15 years. I think I've just got to resign myself to the fact that, the event planner never really gets to party. But we still do, we still do have a great time. Like, even regardless of the things that went wrong last year, there's a depression that sets in when it's over.
Yeah.
That it makes us sad when it's done. There's almost like this whole drop of like, well, what are we going to do now? Like, we have to go back to our normal jobs. Which, we already work in weed, so our jobs are pretty fabulous.
Yeah.
Already. So this is really one of those great events where I've always supported it, because it allowed me to support my friends and other people in the industry and go, hey, like, check out this badass product and check out what they do. And it ups everyone's game as well.
Oh, for sure. The competition is fierce out there these days, and everybody's striving to have the best product. So the array of products that you wind up with out there is just mind-blowing.
And this event is one of those moments that really proves that innovation comes from small business.
Yes.
Each year I see something. I've been in the industry for 15 years professionally, and every year, Karma Cup, I see something new that I haven't seen before, and that's only happened, like, that's almost rare. But now here I am going on my 4th year in a row, and I'm waiting to see what's going to be next.
Yeah, almost holding our breath to see what these people are going to come up with.
I'm excited.
Me too. It's going to be the highlight of my summer. It's going to be at the end of the summer, and I want it to get here, but that means summer is going to be over, so I'm kind of conflicted in that direction.
You know what? I'm the same way. I'm like, I can't wait for it to get here, but at the same time, I'm like, there's a lot of work to be done between here and there, so I'm trying to take advantage of every day.
Yeah, for sure. I'm thoroughly excited about this year for sure. Last year's event was spectacular. It was my first trip to the Karma Cup last year. So I had never experienced it before. I've always gone to, the lift and what used to be Treating Yourself Cup, and I always attended the GMMs and that kind of thing, and 420 Toronto, but I had never been to a cup before. So the Karma Cup was my very, very first cup. And I've been cup crazy ever since. I went in January to P.C. so I could do another one.
Exactly. And I like I said, Sarah is amazing. The creativity and the organization, just the balls to this in a city like Toronto and to the scale that she does it. It's one of the reasons that, again, like I help out with this event every year, because it makes me really proud to be part of the community.
Yeah, for sure. To see everybody pulling together. Has your nurse arrived?
Yes, my nurse has just arrived.
Well, you know what? I'm going to hope that we're in touch with our producer on the man behind the baggie, Mr. Al Rapp, and see if we can take another real quick break, and we'll have it earlier instead of later, and that way you can get set up with your nurse.
That's fantastic. Yep, she just arrived. So I don't know if Sir is there or not.
Yeah, we're good to go. We'll go on break, and we'll let you carry on with your nurse and get set up, and we'll be back for a little chit chat while you get your IV.
Awesome. I'll be back soon.
All right, we'll be back in a minute with Tracy Curley here on P.A.C.E Radio Show on the Lifestyle Network.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
To put the show on the road, you see, out talking to people, planting them seeds. The Tories, they started ripping them down, but he was in for a dime bag, in for a pound. Tom McQuair and the NDP, Elizabeth Macy said, no, not me. The marijuana party had a meeting last night, and everyone agreed they're voting this time.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
BMA offers cannabinoid testing, so if you want to prove you've got good medicine, head to BMA Hydroponics and prove it.
Man, have you been to Canadays yet? Canadays, Campbellford's premier cannabis culture shop at 19 Bridge Street West. They've got bongs, oil rigs, grinders, and papers. Everything you need for consumption. They've got seeds, soil, nutrients, and dome trays too. Everything you need for cultivation. Get top quality seeds from top suppliers like Canuck, Crop King, and wholesaler Nexus. Canadays. They've got all kinds of awesome cannabis novelties, clothing, and apparel. I know, right? It's a lot more than just a bong shop. Interested in gaining legal access? Canadays can help. They're a P.A.C.E information center. You know, people advocating cannabis education. Come by the shop and check it out. 19 Bridge Street West, Campbellford. Canadays. Have your say without saying a word. Canadays.ca.
Hi, this is Al Graham of the P.A.C.E Radio Show. Are you keeping pace, as in keeping people advocating cannabis education? If you're not, and you're a cannabis consumer, then why not? Others are working hard every day to help educate people about cannabis so you can enjoy your daily 420. Get involved and speak out. Be loud and proud so that you can keep pace. Tune into the P.A.C.E Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear about people advocating cannabis education here on lifestyleradio.ca.
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with C.C. Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. C.C. Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Canuck seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Canuck seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today, 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
Now all the politicians who might have smoked grass are waiting for someone to dig up the past. We'll see it on the news and on the YouTube. Peter McKay, look, he's rolling up a doobie. The media frenzy, it just won't stop. Seems all we're doing lately is talking about who's smoking what, how much.
And welcome back. We were listening to the P.A.C.E radio show.
Hi there.
And with Tracy Curley, who is undergoing some medical treatments live on the air.
I'm getting attached to IV antibiotics as we speak.
There you go. We've got her all hooked up. She's going to have a drip going live on the air now. That's dedication.
Plan.
Tracy Curley doing her thing.
Well, like I said, I was through this one time before, so I have nicknamed him Ivan. He's the worst boyfriend I've ever had. Intravenous at nauseum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, he never goes with anything that I wear. It kind of makes me feel bad about myself. But in the end, he takes care of me.
An apt name, my friend.
Yes. So, so all my friends, it was funny because when I went on social media and I'm like, oh, have to spend another, week with Ivan, they were all like, oh no, not that guy. So any patients that are sitting out there and they're listening to this, my biggest advice as a patient is try to keep a sense of humor. Because if you can't laugh, you're not going to make it through it.
That's it. If you can't laugh, you're going to cry, and nobody wants that.
No, exactly. So back to what we were discussing earlier.
Yeah, the Karma Cup.
Go to thekarmacup.com. Check out the website. There are still judges' passes available. So if you're interested in being a judge, you can fill out a judge's application. If you want to enter, you can get your entry information and actually enter the cup through the website as well. And as I said before, tickets are also available. Weekend passes are $25. And you can find them in various locations downtown as well, such as Vapor Central, the Underground Comedy Club, Burrowheads, and trying to think who else got Vape on the Lake. So most of our lounges here in the city will be carrying them, so you can purchase your weekend passes there as well.
Perfect. And I encourage everybody to go. We at Lifestyle Radio will be in attendance as well. I'll be there as a judge, but I'll also be working that weekend for Lifestyle with the two Als by my side, I'm sure. We'll be going around and speaking to all of the vendors and doing a live broadcast from the Cup as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. Had a blast there last year doing it. Really looking forward to it again. Met so many great people. The event is one that is not to be missed. If you're only going to do one thing this year, do the Karma Cup. Money well spent. As far as judges' kits go, they're a bit pricey, but like, we talked about earlier, get a group together, go in on it together. And I mean, this stuff isn't going to last you a hell of a lot longer than the 3 weeks that you have to judge it, let me tell you. I know somebody that bought it and they had it 6 months later, they were still smoking samples.
I've never heard anyone disappointed. It is probably one of my favorite things that I get to do every year is that I get to be kind of Santa Claus and give everybody their kits throughout the last couple of years. I've had the ability to do that. And I feel like Santa, the joy on people's faces when they get it.
Yeah.
But here's one thing that people should be aware of. If you're not sure if you can afford a judge's kit or you're not sure if you can do it, follow the Karma Cup on Instagram and on social media. There are contests being held this year where you might actually be able to win a kit.
Oh, well, wouldn't that be a sweet treat for somebody?
Yes. So definitely follow the Karma Cup on social media, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, and keep an eye out because there will be a lot of prizes this year.
Yeah,
and a lot of announcements.
Yeah, free passes, free kits, all kinds of stuff going on. Now, I noticed one thing that I definitely wanted to talk about before we get off the Karma Cup for sure, and that is one of the special guest judges that you have attending this year has just recently been announced. And people out there might know him as Mr. Sam Losco from Trailer Park Boys.
Yes. We love the team at the Trailer Park Boys. Sam is awesome.
Yes.
And anybody that may have watched the Trailer Park Network SwearNet would know that he was on a show with our friend Amy Anonymous called Hi Fuckers. For a period of time, and Sam has always been a great supporter, and so we're really, really excited to have him on the panel this year as well. The locals will know this, but Big Brother Canada winner Sarah Hanlon will also be one of our celebrity judges.
Love Sarah. She's such a great person.
We love Sarah. It's great to have someone who is an open employee win $100,000 and be loved nationally by our country.
Yep.
I was always excited watching her on Big Brother just because I knew what it meant culturally.
Yeah, me too. I was a big supporter when the show was on. I was constantly posting. We were avid watchers. We did all of the voting and the dialing, and we did it all. And yeah, I had my little small town in Northern Ontario. Everybody was rooting for Sarah.
And as you mentioned at the top of the show, I'm from Prince Edward Island. So all of my friends in Prince Edward Island think I live the most glamorous lifestyle because they couldn't believe that I knew Sarah from Big Brother. Well, actually, they all messaged me to tell me about her. To tell me, did you know? Did you know that there's a girl on Big Brother? And then when I said that I knew her, they were like, "Of course you do."
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? It's funny. I know I was, going to Vapor Central at that time. I knew Sarah from downstairs, and I was hanging out at Vapor Central at that time whenever I went to Toronto. And, part of the Myrnawana show and stuff like that back then. And it was hilarious. And it was go Sarah all the way, and have loved her ever since. She's a great person all around.
Exactly. So, and there'll be more there'll be more celebrity judges announced. More everything announced. We've still got a few weeks to go. We're just starting on all the promotion. So, there are some big announcements coming our way.
Awesome.
And I'm pretty excited.
Oh, I'm very much looking forward to it. It should be a fantastic event. Before we get too far in, I want to talk a little bit about Tracy too.
Okay.
We talked a lot about the Karma Cup, and we're looking forward very much to the Karma Cup. But tell us, let's get a little more background on Tracy too. Now, you're baking. I know that's your one love.
Yep. Now I learned from some of the great bakers in Canada. So, for those of you who don't know, Puff Mama, she's one of the ones that I learned from, as well as Mary Jean Dudston, also known as Watermelon from BC.
Yeah.
And where I actually got my start was with the Toronto Compassion Center. I learned to start baking because I baked for patients.
Right.
And I learned so much from the center and from their head baker at the time, Jim. Everything about dosing and absorption and just the strain knowledge, everything else, that extractions, everything I learned while I was there has really shaped the way that I do things now. The way that the Waken Bakery, which is the company that I started, began was because I had cancer patients who had also had celiac disease. So gluten was an issue.
Yeah.
Myself being a diabetic, sugar was also an issue. So we needed something that patients could carb count as well. So it kind of came out of necessity, and it was also something that I love to do. So it's been something that I've been really, really fortunate to be able to turn something that I love into a business.
Yeah.
That also gets to help people. And there's also that fun thing that, the diabetic gets to vicariously feed the sugar she can't eat to everyone else.
Yeah, of course.
There's something about it. I love making the most disgustingly sweet desserts, from a diabetic perspective anyway, making the most, decadent desserts and then feeding them to people knowing that I can't even taste it.
Bit of self-torture there.
Oh no, it's weird. It's weird.
But it's funny. You talk about how you got your start and everything, and we hear this over and over and over again, out of necessity, and patients helping patients. And well, I needed it, so I had to learn, or I had to help somebody, so I had to learn. You know, this is repeated over and over. By so
and again, why I said why that innovation is small business. What comes out of small business is it's amazing because it's, again, out of necessity. It's like you've got a patient here that needs something and you can't find it. Well, then you learn how to make it.
Yeah. And that seems to be the way with the majority of people, in the craft cannabis business, and the people that got us to where we are now, to see where we are possibly headed is very scary.
Yeah, and I mean, I called myself, I'm a Mary Jane of all trades, but a grower of none. Because that's the one thing I don't do. I don't grow. Mm-hmm. I'm lucky enough to have a designated grower that does that for me.
Right.
But I've been given some really great opportunities to work as a writer now. So I write for 12 High Chicks magazine, Ladybud in the United States, as well as The Highway and a bunch of other publications across the country now.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've been given some amazing opportunities to really do things that I never thought that I would get to do. I grew up in Prince Edward Island thinking, wouldn't it be awesome to be a writer someday?
Yeah.
Never thinking that was ever going to happen, but yet here I am. I have a byline.
Yeah. And here you are. And from something that you're passionate about. And that makes all the difference, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, this changed the quality of my life. And if I can pay that forward, then that's what I owe the universe.
Well said. Well said.
Okay? It's just the way it is, This is what I owe the universe for taking care of me.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. And that's what we're all here to do, is striving to pass on the information, get people educated, stop the propaganda and get the facts, patient oriented, find out what this is all about. And in the long run, even the novice, the Karma Cup is the place to learn.
Oh yeah, we've got lots of education there. I mean, and again, those celebrity judges, the people that have been in this industry for a long time, they are more than willing to share that information. And you will meet and learn more things in one event than you'll learn in a year.
Yep. Yeah, a wealth of information is available at these events. So you're curious, and you're just curious, and you really want to find out what this is all about. September 9th and 10th in Toronto, the Karma Cup. It's a place to learn.
Check it out on the website, and definitely look into teaming up, doing those judges kits. You'll get entrance into all the lounges here in Toronto, and definitely see some of probably the newer products before anybody else even sees them.
That's it. Chance to check out some
stuff. A lot of new
before
products are introduced at
Yep.
this event.
Before it even on the market, you get a chance to figure out whether it belongs on the market, and then see that company explode. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So, well, Tracy, I thank you so much for being here. I'd like to take the opportunity now to invite you to promote a website, a link, or people or places or things or anything that you like at this time. Give a shout out to anybody.
Check out thekarmacup.com. Check out you elite. You will find lots of photographs from former events. Definitely go check out our lounges like Vapor Central, Vape on the Lake, the Underground Comedy Club, and Borrowhead's Glass, where you'll be able to see some of the heady glass that will be part of the competition as well. They'll be doing an art display. And there's definitely come out, check out the sponsors, check out the event. And some of the sponsors that we've had in the past, I'll even just name drop them. So Cloud9 Vapor Lounge in Hamilton.
Mm-hmm. We're losing you.
We'll also see J Creams, which first. Hello. Are you still there?
Yeah, we lost you. You cut out there for a second.
Oh, no. Okay, well, I'll tell you this, folks. You've been through an IV treatment and a wound change, and we made it through.
We made it.
She's been and gone. She's been and gone. We're done.
Yep, and we made it through, and I thank you so much.
I've been antibiotic.
You've been antibiotic live on the air while doing a show. You're a trooper for sure, Tracy. We love you, Tracy Curley, part of the team for the Karma Cup, and so many other places that you can find Tracy's writing. Check out her on social media as well. If you're looking for any of her writings, you can probably find out more about her on her social media outlets as well. And writing for so many magazines. I'm sure you've read her stuff or will be reading it soon in a publication near you. Tracy, I thank you so much for joining us on the show. Shout out to you guys into the Karma Cup. This week, my shout out is to my joint host, Al Graham, and the man behind the Baggy Al rap. You guys are freaking awesome. You took over for me while I was sick. You did a fantastic show, and my absence gave me a wonderful shout out and sent me lots of healing vibes. I appreciate you both picking up the show in my absence, and I'm glad I could be here for you tonight, Al. I wish you all the best, Al Graham. Please get well soon and come back to us, because I don't want to do this alone again.
Well, and I got to give a shout out to you guys for rolling with the punches. I thought this was going to be taken care of hours and hours ago. But I love the fact that cannabis patients work. We roll with it. We roll with the punches, and with each other. So yay for you guys having such a supportive team. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks. And hey, glad to be here for you. And I'm glad we could make it all work out. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a fantastic week and good night.
So what are you doing? Nothing. Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed